It's yeah, it's City TV is also supposed to be recording it. I'm trying to figure out how they're doing on their end. But let me see which ones I use.
Test. Test.
Test.
Testing.
This. Okay.
The Santa Monica Disabilities Commission. We'll begin with our roll call. Commissioner Royale.
Here.
Commissioner Frames.
Here.
Commissioner Adeyemi.
Here.
Commissioner Rackfeld.
Here.
Chair Antonini is present. Commissioner Elliott.
Here.
Commissioner Cosmia Dodge is not present. Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Commissioner Azaria is not present, and Vice Chair Sussman is also not present. Okay, well, thank you everyone for being here tonight. First item, as always, is public input. There's no one from the public here, so we can move along. Okay, so 3A, this is sort of a, maybe should have been last meeting, but sort of, since we now have two new commissioners, in the past, we've generally had people introduce themselves, give a quick introduction as to, their names and what got them interested in the commission. It sort of occurred to us that, although we may know each other, you may not know us, so it might be worth everyone giving a quick introduction. So I can start. My name is Joe Antonini. I've been on the commission now, I think, coming on 3 years. And have reluctantly been the chair for the past almost 2 now, but I'll be termed out at that point, so someone else will have the joy. I ended up getting into this because in a past job, when I applied, I was working for a startup that was building hearing aids. So I'd spent a lot of time working on like machine learning for hearing aids to, sort of reduce background noise. The company was since acquired, so I've moved on to another job, but nevertheless, I still have an interest in hearing loss, and then also AI and how it relates to disabilities. Great. Yeah, I guess maybe we can go around this way. So, Commissioner Rackfeld.
Yes, thank you and welcome. I have an interest in this. It stemmed from my son with cerebral palsy. He's 21 now, and just looking for ways to improve his life in the future. And then separately, my wife and I started a sort of a social service center in Santa Monica called Adrian's Place. It's on Lincoln near right by Samo High, and that's keeping us very busy. So it all kind of ties together. My focus is more on, say, intellectually disabled, autism, what could be cerebral palsy, Down, various genetic diseases. That's sort of the area where I'm closest to and probably will, be most vocal about in conversations.
Hi, good evening, Commission. My name is Suleiman Adeyemi. I came into Commission August 2003. I've been here almost 2 years now. My background, I came here from an agency, my own agency that I established some 20 years ago. I'm retired now, but through this agency is a home care agency for the disabled and seniors. I run a non-profit, there's 2 of them actually. One is for profit and the other one is non-profit, 501c3. So through this experience, I was in contact, I'm still in contact with a lot of families, person to person. In fact, before I assign somebody, one of the people who work for me, I will go to the house and meet the patient or meet the patient family. And I want to understand what the needs are and what this person, if it's a woman, if the husband calling for the wife, then I'll send a lady. And if the wife is calling for the husband, then I'll send a man. And sometimes people will call my office and they will say, well, send Suleiman. Send me, right? And I say, okay, I'm Suleiman, I'm the founder. And they say, you want me to come or send somebody else? So it's always funny. But this is something very, something that I like to do. I came into this line of work, if I can call it that. It's not work for me because it's so much fun. By accident, I came in here to the city of Santa Monica as a student, as an international student. And one day I was, as a student at SMC, I just came newly. And I was looking for one of those part-time jobs that students do. And I was literally walking on Pico Boulevard. And I was knocking on every door. And I was asking, do you guys have a job? You guys have a job? You guys have a job? And they said, well, you must be new here. Because usually people don't go around knocking doors like that. But it's nice to have you knock doors. And then I wandered into St. John's Hospital. And by accident, I went into the ER, and the lady said to me, have you ever done this kind of job? I said, no, this is my first time. I'm an international student, but I just need a part-time job. And the lady said, I'll give you a job. Get this wheelchair. And I got a wheelchair, and that was the beginning of everything. So over those 30 years, I have met some wonderful people, rich, poor, and I get to understand. See, when you see somebody, a disabled person outside, okay, you know them, but you don't know them until you go into their house, and usually they will invite me into their house. And I hope that those who make decisions will have a better understanding of the nature of disabled people. I mean, okay, so I don't want to make this too long, but maybe in due course I can expand more to help us understand, to help this commission understand how the disabled people exist in their families.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Arlene Frames, and I have trouble hearing, so I didn't know all of what you said. We were supposed to say introduce ourselves and anything particular. No?
Just how-
Okay,
what
well,
brought you
I'll
here?
just tell you that I've been a resident of Santa Monica for about 7 years, but I come from a background of advocacy and social justice. I've been a case manager, drug counselor, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of like what you said, by me experiencing different disabilities within my family, and then later on in life myself, I've become more of an advocate for, social justice and stuff like that. Also sit on the commission of LA County Board of Supervisors under the HIV and Women's Task Force and the Black Caucus. I could go on and on and on, but most dear to me is being able to link people to services. And so that's where I really enjoy working, is linking people to services. And I'm really kind of like new with Santa Monica services, but broadly, as the county of LA, I know a few things, but like Santa Monica, I'm kind of getting my feet wet. Thank you.
Thank you. It's, I think you'll see it's a recurring theme in some of our discussions is,
I heard you say you work with hearing aids. I heard that part.
yeah.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Mila Royal. I would like to apologize upfront about my accent. So I'm not originally from United States, and English is my 6th or 7th language. But I will try to explain. I have 3 degrees in different fields, all of them with honor. It's a fashion design, law degree, IT. So, and actually, I had not very pleasant experience, and I have to kind of learn how everything works in the United States through like very difficult circumstances. I was able to protect myself and help others to kind of navigate through that legal system here. I tried to represent myself and others in California courts with different federal agencies. So, and I always was like a solo person who helped people around. And finally, I decided like, why I'm wasting my time to just like spending individual by individual. Let me do something much bigger. That's why I'm here, actually. So I hope I will be helpful. I will be trying hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Alex Elliott. I've been on the commission, I think this is year 6, my second term. I've served as the chair twice. I'm termed out. I've been in Santa Monica maybe 10 years now. I've worked as a social worker in Santa Monica for OPCC doing field-based social work. I was an outreach caseworker. I worked for the Department of Mental Health, LA County for 7, 8 years. I was a psychiatric social worker. And then I at one point was the ADA coordinator, and I've worked on a lot of technology projects. And before that, I worked for the Red Cross and AmeriCorps and disaster relief type of stuff. But yeah, I just have a lot of interest on serving people with disabilities, mental health disabilities, physical disabilities, and then lately just how we can use assistive technologies around that. And then I have some, experience as a professional navigating these systems, and then as an individual going through them. So trying to put all that together, and really welcome. Looking forward to working with you.
Hi, my name is Nancy, and I'm very.
Just put it closer to your.
Hi, my name is Nancy. I'm very honored to be named to the commission. I've never had a title before. In fact, it's really great walking in here. I've been going to all the different meetings, the Landmark Committee, Planning Commission meetings, and ARB, Architectural Reviewer meetings, because I'm very worried about what's going on in Santa Monica with all the demo permits and all the high rises and just putting the pieces together. And it was when I went to the Housing Commission meeting, I think it was Chair Gray had said, is there anybody, they'd see me attending these meetings, and they'd said, is there anybody that wants to, we have openings on the Disability Commission, we're having a hard time filling them, is anybody interested in it? And I said, do you have to have a disability? And they said, no. So I applied for the Disability Commission, and I'm really honored to be named to the Disability Commission and to sit here with all of you. I've never had a title before. So when I walked in here, it was just, it was nice across the street, but to see my name in lights with a title, it's pretty, whoa, and to sit up here, the dais or podium is just really incredible, and I'm very honored. I'm just trying to put all the pieces together. I lived down here in the early to mid-90s, and then at the time the smog was bad, I moved back up to the Bay Area, and the Bay Area has gotten so bad, I moved back down here because I lost my place to stay in Oakland that I had for 15 years, and I worked for a union, and it's just, this is a union that it's not really on the up and up, and so I'm back down here now, and I just really putting the pieces together. I think of not only just people with disabilities, but I think all people in Santa Monica are having a tough time with all these tear downs and demo permits and these 900-foot tall buildings going up. And I'm just telling you, from going to all these different meetings, it doesn't seem as though anybody can afford to live there. It just seems like they do what's called very quickly, they got a feasibility study, and this is what I'm learning from the different meetings, to where they get a loophole and the developers are given what's called off-site affordable housing. And people, say, well, what's that? It's an oxymoron. Basically what that is that they don't have to designate affordable housing. Off-site affordable housing means that people are still going to be on the beach. So anyways, that's just basically what I'm trying to do. It's great to be with you guys and to see if we can, I want to see if we can weave everything together with all the different meetings, because I'm noticing there's a lot of, one meeting doesn't really know what the other is, and if we could just weave it together. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think I think one of the really interesting thing, I mean, there's a huge amount of overlap between like disabilities issues and like housing issues, but also disabilities issues with pretty much every other, issue that like city government touches. So that's I think one of the reasons this council or this commission is so important is that basically everything that the city does, touches our work. So yeah, thank you everyone for being here, taking the time to be on the commission. We're really grateful to have you. And I think with that, we can move on to item 3B. We have commissioner announcements. I think items 1 through 4 are from Commissioner Elliott. So if you want to give a quick summary of those.
Sure, I won't go. I'm glad we have hyperlinks. You can click on them to learn a little bit more. I think I is one of the most important. The Mental Health Service Act is changing to the Behavioral Services Act. It already has a name, but the policies go into place July 1, 2026. So LA County, all the counties across the state are trying to make that transition. One of the big things is now you can use Behavioral Health Service Act dollars towards substance use disorder services. There's money for housing as part of that funding. There's just a lot to it, but it's a major shift, probably the biggest in about 20 years since the MHSA was first passed in 2024. This is the biggest change since then. So this link is to the official policy manual. This is our reference guide. They just came out with Module 1. They're going to release more modules over time. Module 2 will come out pretty soon, and so on. But take a look at this. I know we've talked about mental health for years now. This is going to be a piece of the puzzle. So I just wanted you guys to have the direct source of what the state says the BHSA is going to look like. I could talk forever, but just take a look at it. And double I is just, we're coming off of the fire. I just wanted to share the state Cal OES, that's the Office of Emergency Services. They have a great access and functional needs program. They have a whole resource library. They have experts focus on people with disabilities and disasters. So this is just like a link that has great information that I want you guys to have and the public to be one click away from. And then Triple I, they actually did a presentation with another organization I'm a part of, but it's basically a way to save money that doesn't jeopardize your SSI. It's a savings program for people with disabilities. It's called the Cal Able program. I think you can put in around $19,000 a year. So sometimes, like when I was a social worker, sometimes someone would get Social Security back payments, get $20,000, $30,000, but you have to get it down to $3,000, which there was one case where a guy had to buy like a laptop and an iPad and all this stuff he didn't really need, but he had to get under that. So this is just another option. And once you have it in the Cal Able account, you can use your Cal Able funds to pay rent, to pay anything that's, it's very broad in what you can spend it on, which is great. It's a savings opportunity. And a big thing is in January, now you have to have your disability before you're 26 years old, but in January 1st, it moves up to 46. So a lot more people are going to be eligible for this. So I'm thinking, towards the end of this year, early next year, we can have them come by and speak about it. I talked to them at the Abilities Expo this past weekend, card, so that's a speaker we should get down the road. But this is just an amazing program that not as many people are aware of. And they even have like investments, funds kind of similar to an IRA, so you can put your money in there and have it grow. So it just, like people say in the disability community, money is medicine, so this is kind of a tool for that. I4, I'll just go I4. Other stuff is just resources. We talk about, making digital spaces accessible. So these are just tools to make digital spaces more accessible. So one example is like the Ecosystem by American Printing House. They have like lots of resources for people with visual impairments that are helpful for creating digital content. And then I'll pass it to our chair for V.
Yeah, the next two I posted mostly because they're relatively local. I don't really have too much commentary on them, but the headlines basically convey most of the information. I think back in the fall, Disney changed the way that it gave out disability passes. So these are special passes at Disneyland and Disney World that allow people that have them to essentially skip lines. So there ended up being a fair amount of abuse of it. So they tightened the restrictions or the requirements to get one of these passes. But as always, I think it's a good case study of how difficult it is to precisely define disabilities in these situations. So when they tightened the definition that they were using, they ended up basically excluding certain people who did in fact need it and who have since sued over it. So I think I posted it partly because it's somewhat local and partly because I think it makes for a good case study as to the difficulty in these kinds of definitions. With item 6, I think pass it back to Commissioner Elliott.
Sure. So the first one, the digital accessibility practices at Harvard, that's just tied to our ad hocs on making digital spaces. That's just a great resource for the city to reference for best practices. The second one, the DOORS program. So I know currently at Santa Monica Library, they have like digital literacy trainings. This is existing content made by Harvard's digital psychiatry program. I've worked with them on other projects. It's great content. This might be something that could be helpful to supplement our existing program at the libraries to teach folks with disabilities and mental health disabilities digital literacy skills. They even have some stuff on like picking an app safely, a free mental health app, things like that. I think it's a good supplement to what we already have. That's the spirit behind that one. The Minnesota IT, I think they're a little bit, we have next April, the big digital rules coming into place. They have a really established program, so just want the city to have that reference as much as we can leverage or learn from, copy and improve. That's the purpose of that. The icons, just digital icons focus on accessibility. There's not enough of those. We're going to be creating a lot more digital content. We need icons to create documents. So those are some great free ones. And the data.gov, data is becoming harder to find on certain topics. So that's just a repository of helpful data. So I just wanted that to be one click away for people. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you very much. The next item we have is the consent calendar. So we have to approve the minutes from the last meeting from February. I'll move that we approve the meeting, the meeting minutes, sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, the motion is unanimous. Okay, public input on remaining agenda items. Again, no members of the public present, so we can move on to 9A, I, so we have the ad hoc committee on AI opportunities and risks. So yeah, in the past month, I've kind of been putting more, trying to synthesize what we have been sort of collecting over the past couple of years It's kind of interesting to sit back and like think about it because when we started this ad hoc, this was not too long after like ChatGPT had first come out. And so it really like the space has in just a very short amount of time changed really, really dramatically. Like, the original ChatGPT was like mind blowing at the time, but now seems like kind of primitive compared to, the capabilities of AI systems today. So, we've collected a lot of documents that have sort of touched on the relationship between AI and disabilities, and both on the positive side and then on the side of potential risks to watch out for. So, I'm trying to collect these into roughly a 2-page letter that we can send to City Council. But one of the things, so let's see, So one of the things one of the points I was wanting to make in this is that, there's a lot of technology that I think is really going to be very valuable in providing accessibility features, that didn't exist before. So for instance, we all know that one of the important things in like web accessibility is like images need to have alt text. Unfortunately, many websites do not actually provide alt text for images, so that presents an accessibility issue. But some of these new tools now can essentially provide alt text on the consumer side instead of on the producer side. So that's like, it's very valuable for someone who has that to be able to, understand what's going on in an image that otherwise doesn't have alt text. I think one of the maybe concerns that I want to raise to City Council is just that, just because these tools will start to become more popular among the general public, that shouldn't be taken as an excuse not to provide the accessibility features, anyway on the website, because not everyone is going to have access to those tools or know about them or know how to use them. So, we still do need to provide sort of standard, simpler accessibility features, on the city website, and then, in other spaces, physical spaces as well throughout the city. I think it will also be useful to, one of the things we have wanted to do for some time is, have a dedicated section on the website for disability resources. I think it will be useful to collect some of the best tools that we find for providing accessibility using AI, and have sort of a special page within that, that will sort of collect the things that we have found and, be sort of this one-stop shop for, accessibility resources, AI-powered accessibility resources for the citizens of the city. And then I think there was I think Commissioner Elliott had found this, but there was this program called City Connect, which is allowing different cities, as they're starting to experiment with AI technology, to share their findings with each other. And I think this is an opportunity where Santa Monica kind of be on the forefront of AI and AI-powered disabilities technology. So as we have learned what we've learned, we can share that out to other cities, and help them so they're not reinventing the wheel. And then we'll have a list of sort of many of the benefits and tools that provide these benefits that we found. Some of those risks around maybe being over leveraging, let's say, those tools. And then I think the other main risk to look out for are some of the more standard types of risks that people in the AI safety space have talked about for some time. Namely around, I think what particularly pertains to the city government would be around hiring issues, where if you have some new tool that does some automated screening of resume, you don't want that to introduce some new system, some new bias into your hiring process. So that's one other thing that I wanted to flag. So those are some of the main thoughts that I've been trying to put together. I think by next meeting I'll have a draft. I'll work on it with Commissioner Elliott in the meantime. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking. I don't know if anyone has any comments that they wanted to add. I'll maybe leave it to Commissioner Elliott, my other member of the ad hoc.
Definitely want to, there's actually March 11th, a great, I'm good at curating like what experts in the disability space are talking about. So that's one of my skills is like curating stuff. So I shared a couple times the U.S. Access Board, they're a federal agency that works on all things ADA, had an AI series. One thing that was left to do was this report in collaboration with the Center for Democracy and Technology. It came out yesterday and has a lot of like best practices to reduce bias, make sure the data is representative. One of the issues is the data desert. There's not a lot of data on people with disabilities, so then the insights are off. Or, you know, for mental illness, it's always, you know, something you'd see in a movie, but you don't see like the school teacher or like the regular person that doesn't disclose. You see like the most extreme examples. So I'm still digesting the report, but I'll definitely share it at the next meeting because it just came out. But I think we should draw some insights from that. I think you have a great foundation. There's also just one of the ADA regions. So we're in the Pacific region. They just had a great webinar about like intersection of AI, AT, and like pros and cons. So we should incorporate some of good ideas to build on top of that foundation. And I'll post that as well. Yeah, it's exciting. The data piece though is I think something we really have to think about is just that what these models are being trained on are representative. And then also, you know, they can pick a needle out of a haystack, and some people, you know, might not want to be picked out of a haystack. I'll leave it at that. But I think we have a great foundation. We'll leverage, you know, the best reports, and we'll the chair will work his magic, and we'll have some great recommendations.
Yeah, thank you. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to add or thoughts? Or
Can I ask a question about something that was covered earlier on the agenda? Sure. I was just curious, you said people get $20,000 to $30,000 in back pay for SSI. Why do they make them spend it?
I'm going off the top of my head, but there's someone else might know more, but I think you're not allowed to have more than $3,000 in your account, and $2,000, and you can risk losing your SSI.
But why?
It's a federal rule. There's been a lot of disability advocates that have wanted to raise that to at least 10,000. It hasn't been raised in years. So maybe at the time they had some formula but now, you know, so that's part of why they created that, is because it causes a lot of issues. You can't accumulate wealth. You're always check to check. So you know, at least you can save 6 months of rent or something, but you know, if you can only have 3,000 in your account, you can only save. But maybe someone more, I know how to find more information, but I'm going off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. And then you said you worked at OPCC, is it at Cloverfield?
At the Access Center.
What was that at the Samuel or something?
Yeah, next door.
Oh, okay, because I remember Commissioner, he's not here, Sussman was saying that he had been trying to get in touch with the CEO, Masiri, right?
Yeah, that's the current CEO, yeah.
Oh, I guess you never met him, or you don't have any?
I've met him. I could reach out, but I don't know him.
Oh,
We're kind of drifting off topic, guys.
oh, it's not, okay, I'm terribly sorry.
yeah, any other questions, comments, thoughts on the AIA ad hoc? If not, we can move on to the local aging and disability strategic planning ad hoc. I think Commissioner Adeyemi has been taking the lead on this.
The Aging and Action Committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the one thing that I discovered is that the cities, Santa Monica, Malibu, Pacific Palisades. It's amazing how interdependent these cities can be. In fact, I was listening to the statistics, and I don't have it pinned down, but the number of people that perished during the fire. And it has always been a concern of mine about how does a disabled person get out of danger in case of an emergency. That's my, I'm really concerned about that. And in our previous meetings, maybe about 4 months ago, I mentioned something to that effect, only to have fire happen, and some people perish. So it's not, okay, so it was a previous mention, it is now being mentioned, and it's going to be mentioned futuristically or continuously, because when that fire happens, the fire did not discriminate between an able person and disabled person. Everybody was just abandoning their car and running. And when they came down from the hill to Santa Monica, because I mentioned this because the Santa Monica is not part of anything but the Santa Monica Malibu School District, you know that, right? And they've been trying to secede from Santa Monica, dollars and cents, right? And so I was asking the principal one morning when I dropped my kid here. And I said, why does Malibu want to secede from Santa Monica? And I think the principal said something to the effect, oh, it's about money, this and that, not exactly.
They said what now?
The Malibu School District, about money.
Oh, money?
Yes.
Oh.
So now you find that in this fire event, they were depending on us. Now they want to leave, now they want to come down for help. And I was at the SMC gymnasium where we're providing things, food and clothing, emergency aid to the people from the Pacific Palisades and Malibu. So this is, when we think about helping people, it's not just that you think you cannot be in that situation. You can be okay today, and tomorrow you are in the same situation where you need help. So the one thing I'm trying to see done is that older people and disabled people should have some kind of action plan for the future. I was at the housing back here at the next office a few days ago, and I was saying to the young lady, and I said, you know what, it's a disaster, this fire. And she said to me, you know what, I'm always thinking, how are we gonna get my grandma from upstairs to downstairs? And then the fire happened. I said, the Disability Commission, and I said, I've raised this issue before, and it can happen again. If it's not fire, it is the flood. So I don't know what the city can do futuristically, beginning from now, to safeguard the safety of the disabled people. And this is very, very crucial. This is very, very important. Something can be done. I don't know what, but we're here for suggestions.
Yeah, Commissioner Royal.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe every landlord restricted to kind of like have tenants with disability living close to elevator or stairs or exit for them to be able to leave building quickly in case of emergency. Is that correct or not? Somebody knows? I think that's the actually law. So, but what I'm gonna point it out, it's like what I see, people placed on a 3rd floor, 5th floor, away from elevator or stairs, and they're using, for example, like wheelchair or walkers. And I thought the same things. I don't know if something happened, how those people will leave a building. So on top of everything, I don't know about everybody here, but I didn't get any alarm when that disaster happens. So the only way I was able to monitor situation and understand what's going on, it was like watch duty app. That's it. So there was like no alarm system. So, and I wonder the same things, if we can bring some sort of solution to kind of like protect a little bit more those people who like really struggle. So because I mean, I don't know how they're gonna leave buildings. That's it. So in my building, we have a elderly person who lived on the third floor, far away from elevator. He's barely walking, and there is like no way for him to leave a building. On top, I think the elevator will be shut off. So I mean, it's kind of like.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get this into this agenda, put it into next month's agenda, but I did see some stories around. There's been obviously broader discussion of this in LA County, but you know, I think that the fire has very dramatically illustrated that you know, people with mobility issues tended to struggle a lot more in getting out of the fire. And so there's been discussion around creating some kind of a database that people can, who have severe mobility issues, could opt into, that could be shared, I guess, with the fire department or any other first responders, so that they, you know, would know specific locations to check first, where people might need more assistance in escaping the area. Yeah.
I actually didn't check law for Santa Monica, but as I know, because I lived in different areas of LA previously, as I know, city of LA, they trying to put people with disability on who has mobility issue, specifically in the first floor of the building. They do have designated units for people who has mobility issue. I don't know about Santa Monica. I don't see that those rules follows here. So, I mean, I don't know. We should address.
Just a question, when you use the word "they" put, that sounds like a government organization.
No, it's a landlords actually, and they kind of like either restricted or something. I don't know details. But if there is a low-income housing or affordable housing project, that's what they're doing in the city of LA for sure. So here in Santa Monica, I don't see they following those rules, or I'm not sure if those rules even exist.
In those cases, those are, I would assume that those apartments or whatever are under an umbrella of, like you said, affordable housing or something in the city. But if we're just talking about something that's not in that bucket, I don't think that there, you know, I don't know, but I don't know if there's anything that would cover that, because a landlord is privately owns a building, and renters are renters, and they can pick or choose where they want to be based upon availability.
That's true, I'm agree. And I'm talking specifically about building who under that umbrella. So, and we are talking about expanding affordable housing in Santa Monica, right? So if we're not really focusing on those issues, I mean, I don't know. So we will have more affordable housing, but we will be not properly supplying those people with, those individuals with disability, mobility issue, et cetera, I can understand some people have disability which is like not related to mobility issue, and they can put them on a second, third floor, it's okay, so, but who has like clear wheelchair or like, I don't know, another devices to move around, so why are they not following those rules? So.
No, I think this is we should circle back on 13A. Maybe we need to have an agenda or someone come around emergency response. I think maybe get the Chief Resiliency Officer, Lindsay Call. Actually, we did AmeriCorps together, so I mean, I can, we can make that happen. Also, our partners at DCRC, they have that whole disaster program, and I know TJ Hill, our former chair, knows a lot about this. I know Nancy Link Ellis knows a lot about this. So we should leverage their expertise. In the past, our commission has done the CERT program, and it's like a community disaster relief. I'm forgetting the acronym CERT. Like I completed that. It's a 2-day thing to get more community members with skills, because in a disaster, the fire department is going to be maxed out. So it's going to, as many people in the community that can help with access and functional needs. The state, that link earlier, has like a program to teach people to be access and functional needs specialty volunteers. So we can tap into those, but I think Lindsay would be someone good to talk about this. But I just want, there's an action item related to the local aging and disability strategic planning that I want, excuse me. There's an action item by April 1st. So this is for everyone. Please fill out the survey. You might have got an email. It's the Aging and Disability Action Plan Survey. It's due by April 1st. You can do it online. There's a link on the Santa Monica website where you can talk about your concerns, all the stuff we're talking about here. Put that in the survey, your own insights. If you need they have paper versions you can pick up here or do it online. And they also have like an open house on March 22nd at Santa Monica College on 2nd Street from 9 to 12 on March 22nd. So the action items are fill out the survey, everyone in here, and try and get the word out. And if you're able to attend the open house, just want to make sure everyone in here should fill that out.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I think to your point too, so the discussion about, mobility during disasters, I think that's important and, potentially is worth having a separate ad hoc on. And then also if you want to maybe look into what the current rules are around.
I will try to.
Yeah. I think that'd be valuable.
To find out because it's interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just paid attention that it's kind of like different within different cities. So, and it's kind of like.
Yeah, so I can put another item on that next month, and maybe if there's enough interest, we can form a separate ad hoc specifically around that issue. Because, it's related to the disability strategic planning, but, it's not, it's obviously a distinct topic. Okay, the next item we have, 9B, is discussion and possible action regarding the Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation at the May 13th City Council meeting.
You want me to talk
Yeah,
a
do you
little
want
bit about
to
it?
give a few words?
Yeah, so we had the Human Services Division reach out. I know last year there were a couple people that were interested in participating in this, but I can read what they sent to me, and then you guys can figure out if you guys are interested or not. It says, our division is starting to plan for a Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation, May 13th, City Council meeting. In past years, let me see, the DC has been involved. Can you let me know if the Disabilities Commission is interested? Let me see. So in assisting with the Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation this year, we're interested in highlighting youth mental health this year in case the commission has any ideas or suggestions along those lines. That's a noise from outside. But yeah, it's however you guys want to facilitate that, whether it's, a couple of you that are interested, maybe creating an ad hoc would be the best way. That way you guys can have direct communication with staff and, then the ad hoc can bring, some sort of draft of the proclamation. There's a few ways you guys can go about it, or if just one person's interested, I don't know.
But they're interested in us writing up a draft, do you think?
In helping out with the draft, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, creating the ad hoc would be the easiest way of line of communication between the commission and between staff. So
Yeah.
that's just a general thought.
Is anyone interested in being on that ad hoc? Commissioner Elliott? I'm interested. Anyone else?
So you guys can have 5? 5.
Yeah, 5, as long as it's under quorum.
Would you repeat that?
So this would be an ad hoc to draft the Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation for the May 13th City Council meeting.
Yep.
You would be interested? Okay. And then Commissioner, you would,
I have my hands full, right?
yeah, okay. Okay, that makes, I guess, 4 of us. I think we need a motion.
You need
to
a
create an ad-
motion, yeah, so just state the motion, you're creating
Okay,
the ad hoc and the names of the members, and then I'll get you guys in a group and I'll send your information to the staff, and then they'll probably want to set up with a meeting, or maybe it's just through email, but that way you guys can coordinate that and bring it back to the commission for a formal vote.
okay. Well, I move that we create an ad hoc committee to draft a proclamation for Mental Health Awareness Month for the May 13th City Council meeting, including the members, Commissioner Elliott, Chair Antonini, Commissioner Fields, Commissioner Royale. Do I have a second?
Second. No, sorry.
And a third. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion passes unanimously.
Just back before we move, in the past too, we've had someone come to the meeting when they presented and like say a couple minutes. I think I've done it. I think Commissioner Azaria has done it, but it's a cool thing. I mean, I'm happy to do it if no one else does, but something to think about if they want us to say a few words on the 5th, someone think about if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, and just FYI, the meetings, I believe they do the proclamations at the beginning of the meeting, so you guys won't have to stay till, the late hours of the night for that. So I believe they do this in the beginning. I'm gonna say it's around 5 o'clock. But our Human Services Division staff will be able to give you more insight on, all that information. But cool, so I have Elliott, Antognini, Frames, and Royale, right, for the ad hoc? Yeah, okay, so I'll forward it to staff, and then they'll be in contact with you for, what you guys can assist with, along with the proclamation.
Great, thank you very much.
Guys?
Okay, we've kind of already talked about 9C discussion and, or I guess this is more liaisons. But yeah, so maybe for the benefit of the new commissioners, one of the ways that you can, contribute to the commission and have impact in the city is by becoming a liaison to other commissions in the city. So if you have a particular interest in, one of the other commissions, you can become a liaison to that commission. The website has a list of the various boards and commissions in Santa Monica, but this typically would entail, attending their meetings and, getting to know the other commissioners. And, in the ideal case, this hasn't happened in my term, but ideally working with them on some specific project, that sort of incorporates both commissions together. But even in the absence of that, I think just developing the relationship between the different commissions is valuable. And also just knowing what they're up to is valuable as well. If there aren't any that you're already aware of, take a look at the city website. They have a list of the various boards and commissions and see if anything is of interest to you.
Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Adeyemi.
Thank you, Chair. Talking about mental health, right? I was here in this hall with during one of the safety
You make sure to speak into the microphone.
commission. I was in here during one of the meetings, and I met with Assistant Chief of the City Police, and real person, Francisco Franco. Can you believe that? And I was saying to him, how do you how do you deal with the mental person when he's not in his element? And the rest of the council members were here, and they were asking him questions. And then after the meeting, I was engaged with him, and I was asking him questions. I said, something came to my mind. I said, okay, maybe we should invite him, the Assistant Chief of Police, Francisco Franco, to come and tell us what is the department ongoing, either policy or programs or progress that has been made concerning the mental health people, in our community right here. So if we can, and he says, yes, I will come. And if
that's
if
great.
I can be invited, I'll come.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely something. I can. Do you have his contact information or?
Give me his card, but I don't have it here.
Okay. Yeah, I can reach out then and try to see if he'd be willing to come to one of our meetings. Yeah, we're sort of moving into 13A, future agenda and planning. Sorry, Commissioner. Yeah, you had something you wanted to say.
My name's Nancy Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon, yes.
Well, I don't know if you want to consider me for the Housing Commission to be, because the Housing Commission Chair Gray had suggested that, if there's anybody here, and I was,
Yeah, for sure.
okay, so if you wanted me to be, not a liaison, what was the word that?
Liaison, yeah, that's what we call it.
You want me to attend the Housing Commission meetings, and I guess I just speak as I usually do, or announce myself as being with a disability?
Yeah, so I mean, when you're there, you're a member of the public, so you would have only 2 minutes to speak at the meeting. But yeah, you can, announce yourself as being a member of the Disabilities Commission and
I did
liaison.
do that. I did attend the Housing Commission meeting, and I announced myself as, as being appointed to the Disability Commission. And they said congratulations, so I guess that's pretty much all you need me to, just, do I give them an update on our meetings, or how does that work?
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, there's at least in the time I've been here, there's been no fixed formula for what exactly a liaison does. So it's not like you have to vote. We have to vote on officially making you the liaison. But if you have an interest in housing issues and want to attend the meetings and tell them about what we're doing and then tell us about what they're doing, that would be great. That's super valuable.
Yeah, I'd just add it would be great to get on their mailing list, get a copy of their meeting agendas, and highlight things that relate to both of us.
I pick up the hard copies.
Yeah.
That's okay. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, that
Because
would
I have all that. Everything.
that would be a good liaison update. Is what from the last meeting minutes are really relevant to people with disabilities.
Yeah, I can do that. I did the old fashioned. I'm still very much 20th century.
That
So
works.
I can do that and take notes and then just update you guys, or just announce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, but before each meeting, I can maybe reach out to you and just see if you have anything you want to update, and I can put a specific item on the agenda for you.
Okay. Did you want me to give you my name again? Because I think.
No, I'm sorry. I just spaced for a minute, but.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, one other thing I wanted to mention, two other things I wanted to mention too. I did reach out once again to the Chief Information Officer, but haven't heard back, so still trying to get him to come talk to us. The other thing too is the Santa Monica Bridge Advisory Committee. So I got placed onto that in connection with the Disabilities Commission work. So this is a committee that the city has set up around the Santa Monica Bridge program. So the first meeting for me is going to be in March, so I don't really have anything to say about it now. But as I understand it, it's it's a program, I think some sort of a transitional program that is going to be set up, I think, on the Santa Monica College campus or adjacent to it. But since the next meeting is going to be later in March, I'll have something to say about it at our next meeting. Yeah, Commissioner.
The city has a new city manager, and Ms. Elaine. Is it important and necessary to invite her so that she can understand some of our concerns?
Yeah, actually, I did have a question about that. Maybe someone else knows. So I was wasn't sure if the current city manager, if it was like a transitional city manager and they're looking for a permanent one, or
I think she's confirmed.
she's
She
confirmed.
was
Okay.
transitioned.
Yeah, I think she was too.
Okay, yeah, in that case, for sure, we should try to get her in, reach out.
So a clarifying question. So I know they appointed the interim city manager, Elaine Polacek. Has there been, she became, any updates since then? Is she permanent or are they still looking? I thought they were looking. That's the last update I had about a month ago.
I believe she's still the interim manager.
Okay.
Okay.
I suppose either way, it's maybe valuable to talk to her.
And we should, when they do determine the permanent one, for 100%, we need to engage with that person.
And then, yeah, I'll reach out to more city council members and, I don't know, see if we get any bites.
So we on 13, like future planning
Yeah,
items?
yeah.
All right, so I'd like us to put back on our plan as an agenda item to go over, just sort of historically, you know, we've found it difficult to find traction to do some things, and I think by having that plan there, remind ourselves of some of what we have said we needed to do will be good. So I'd like to have that on there. Also, I'm wondering, and this is a question, the ADA coordinator, might have missed a meeting. I'm got kind of lost in this whole discussion.
No, that's actually there is a ADA coordinator at the city. I'm drawing a blank on his name, who's a full-time employee. What's his name?
Blake, I believe it's Stavros? Yeah. Blake is for sure the first name.
And they've updated their forms, his contacts there. They have an ADA mailbox, like the infrastructure is building. It's actually, I'm in some ADA coordinator networks. I've seen him there, which was one of our recommendations in our letters to join some of these groups. He's in some of them. So, but actually that we should bring him back that's a relationship. They're actually reading our stuff and doing some of it. So that is a good sign. And just to have that person in that role is a big step forward.
Would he be able to help us get some of the, like this, chief information officer, whoever, I mean, part of the city? I would hope that they could support our effort, so you're not wasting your effort, nothing getting replied to, which is difficult.
Yeah, often a role of an ADA coordinator is to work with the Disability Advisory Committee for that city. That's what other cities that I've worked with do. So he would be the person, we're the advisory
Job
committee.
description.
So yes, thanks for bringing that up. And for your first point, do we have an update on when we'll get a new template? Because July 1 is, we should upgrade that great draft from last year to make it relevant for July 1 through June 30. Because we were like just reactive to get it out, but we should spend like a couple months between now and July 1, working on it and get it as close to July 1 as possible. And we were like, last time we were rushing we were past the due date, but is it possible to get an update so we can be a little more proactive, have an updated template of what they want and start talking about it next month and start bringing in the people to develop it as like now? I think two great points.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah, any other thoughts for future items?
I come across people all the time. When they know that I'm with the Disability Commission, and they will say, "Well, how can we get to the commission? Who do we talk to?" And I would have loved to say, "Here's the card," but I don't know how to refer them to this commission for any possible concern that they
Like
may
a physical paper
Yeah, like a card.
or just with, okay.
Disability Commission, so.
What do they do about just a simple email or anything like that? There's no standard mailbox that represents the commission, is there?
There is
There is, okay.
DC.mail, it's on the agenda.
Look at that.
Does that get triaged to all of us or just the chair?
Sometimes it's public comment, and so if it's public comment, they submit via there. It's what we attach to the agenda. If it is something that's for staff, it'll get filtered to staff. So if it's,
DC mailbox at santamonica.gov.
yep, that's it.
All right.
Related to that, is there like a press kit where we can like print our own stuff out with a QR code to this? I know cities often have like brand guidelines and things, and I know it takes a long time to get business cards, but like for our community outreach, I'd like to do more of that, give out my card or be able to print out my, share image with the QR code with people. People have smartphones, but is there a press kit, a digital press kit that I can share with people?
Not that I'm aware of, but I know there have been commissions that have requested business cards, so you guys could, formally request one, have like a general, with the DC.mailbox information and the website and the days that you guys meet and so on and so forth. I can look into it and
Okay,
see
thank
if we can get that for you guys.
No, that would be amazing to just get the ball rolling on the general one, and then maybe after July 1, when we're gonna have another round of appointments, think about maybe getting individual ones, but I think we should get the ball rolling on the general with the DC box and the QR code. That's great.
Yeah, I can definitely look into it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. A lot of really great ideas. Commissioner Royale, do you have? No? Okay.
Yeah, if I could go back, you were talking about Chat GBT. Is that going to replace us physically being here at meetings?
Not this year.
Okay, thank you. Because I like physically seeing you guys,
Yeah.
Not,
Hopefully soon people who can't come in person will be able to interact with us, have that option as an accessibility option. Because I know from what I heard as the chair and just my experiences, I've heard feedback from the disability community that they're like, I just can't make this meeting, but if there was a virtual option, a Zoom option, a call-in option, I would participate. And I think that's why this is a big deal that we're here. We're closer to that being here.
Yeah, it's much more feasible to do in this room.
Well, if we're doing pie in the sky, does Santa Monica have chat boxes? And could there be something eventually for those who are interested in disabilities, ask questions? I mean, it actually might be easier than rearranging the whole website.
Maybe,
Something to talk about with the chief information officer.
Yes.
or
Great idea.
in the letter, just how do we leverage as an accessible option to give feedback to government and commissions and the city?
Yeah, sorry, taking notes.
Just turn on chat and it'll summarize it for you,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, well, I think with that, we are at adjournment. So thank you, everyone, for your time. This was a useful meeting. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you all next month.
Thank you.
Thank
thank
you.
you for being chair.